Hello everyone, so this video will be for the prorations tab in a file. So I'm just going to go into the file here. I'm going to settlement tab here, and it looks like I already had the prorations tab up, so it brought me to that tab here. Let me try to find, so I got some information here already. I'm going to try to find when I don't have anything in. I'm just going to go to search, files. So just in case you don't know, this the percentage sign here, so I'm going to find all the files that have wrong in it, because I know we opened a bunch of files in the wrong office. So let's see if this one has any information. Settlement. Okay, this is empty in the prorations tab. All right, so basically, this is where the on page 3 of this CD, all the adjustments, or page 1 of the HUD, where the adjustments will be. So let me see if we have a tax search in here too. Go to documents. Going to try to find one here, sorry. Okay, here we go, good. So I'll go back to settlement. So, obviously most files we have a tax adjustment that we need to do. So I'm going to do that one first. Resware defaults these standard adjustments here. And for the taxes, you actually don't need to differentiate between the paid or unpaid. The system will, based on what calculation you come up with, it will adjust it to the appropriate one. However, the other adjustments where we add them, and I'll show you that later, we will have to know ahead of time, like, hey, is this going to be a seller credit or is it going to be a buyer credit? But so real quick with the taxes, so I think, as most of you know, taxes in New Jersey are adjusted on an annual basis. So even if 2018 current total is not available, we're going to use a 2017 current available. So in this case here, looking at our tax search, we see here, okay, 2018 still remains to be determined. So when we use the total number, we're adjusting off of the 2017 total. That's why priority always gives us this total on our tax searches. So I'm going to go here. I know I sent instructions out here, but basically it's going to be payment per. It's going to be date range yearly. You're going to put the closing date's a prorate from date. So let's just say it's closing the 27th. The start date, it's a little different here, is that we got to put the 12/31/2017. It's easier to type it in, I think, rather than click through this, so I recommend that. And it's going to be 12/31. Oh, sorry, hit the you don't need to hit the backslashes, by the way. You can just type it in, and it's going to jump there. You don't need. That's what my mistake there. So it does that. Prorate date range yearly. You're going to payment amount here is the total amount that we're going off. So remember, we're going off since 2018 total is not available. We're doing the 2017 total, which is 12,842.97, and the paid amount is depends on what is paid now. So in this case, I would recommend having to collect if we're closing on the 27th, it's likely that the seller's mortgage company is going to make the payment, so I would collect it from the seller, so you can just make it, if it comes back it's paid, we just make it payable to them. It's pretty easy. But just to add these two numbers together, I'm just going to put the first quarter in this case, so 74, and I'm just going to click off. And so in this case, somewhere I was talking about, it will adjust appropriately. So rather than saying it's in this case, paid would be the seller getting a credit. It's saying, hey, wait a second, the buyer should actually get a credit because they're going to be paying in the second quarter. So it's going to update it there. It's going to swing it here. So it automatically swings it there, does the calculation there. And if you need to override the line description, you can check this box here. You want to put a note for reference, put this here. Tax type, I'm not sure what this is used for. I think we can just turn that off. So that's the tax adjustment. So now let's see on this tax search if anything. So water's private. So all right, okay. So we got a sewer account here where it's billed quarterly. That's good. So let's do a sewer adjustment here. So we're going to do new, and we're going to add a sewer adjustment. So in this case, we're closing. So let's pretend that the the seller's not going to pay it. So what we're going to do, so basically the seller's going to have to credit the buyer. So we're going to do sewer, so seller to buyer here. We're going to click add. It's going to bring us this line. And so we got a quarterly adjustment here. So it's going to be quarterly. Click that. And days per year, this is kind of weird. I'm sorry, I left this note in the office, but I think it's 360 bankers estimated. I'll get you clear instructions, but I'm pretty sure it's that. Prorate 2 is going to be your closing date. It probably defaults. I just don't have it in here. Yeah, I don't have it. Go back. Settlement. Prorations. So it has a start date, end date here. Put the payment amount, so 105. And in this case, if the seller had paid it, you just put 100%. If not, just leave it 0. So now it defaults to the seller crediting the buyer $30.33 for April 1st to April 27th. Just for another example, just so, by the way, if you're wondering what the zeros are, this is if you want to force this line to appear as a 0 on the HUD CD, and the F is if you wanted to just force the line to appear as is here on the CD. Again, this is rarely I don't think it's going to apply rarely because generally the the lender's creating the CD anymore, so it's not on us to adhere to any lender requirement. So I know sometimes they might say, hey, we want this line to just show as a 0, but they're doing that on their end now, so you might not ever need to use this, but just so you know what it is. Let's do another one. So let's just pretend it's a condo, and that the seller paid the condo dues for the month. So it's just going to be condo dues. So in this case, if the seller paid it for a month, the buyer has to credit the seller. We're going to add it, and you're going to come here again. So we're going to do prorate month. Closing date was the 27th. Populates that. Let's say it was just a $300 monthly bill. Now in this case, if the seller paid it, we're going to put 100%. They paid 100%, and so you'll see here, the buyer's crediting the seller $40 here. So I think that pretty much covers. You can adjust the lines that it appears on if you need it to be. If you want to override the line description here, check this box. I don't think you'll ever be using delivery method because it's handled between the buyers and sellers. No checks being cut. And again, here's the various options we have here. If you see something that you're adjusting for, I think we have pretty much all of it covered here, but if it's not on here, let us know and we can add it. But I think that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, just let me know. Thanks.